Hey guys, welcome back to Mind Your Conversions, brought to you by Fiverr. If you're new here, this is where we break down the art and science of marketing with our hosts, Liv and Max. They will help you understand marketing better, explore fresh strategies, and most importantly, drive higher conversions. So whether you're a seasoned pro, or even if you're just getting started, you're at the right place.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going deep into this really cool world of landing pages.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically, the ones that really perform well. We've got a checklist here all about landing page optimization. And our goal today is to figure out, what are the most important tips and tricks we can pull from it so you can make your landing pages, really shine. Whether you're, working on a new campaign or just, curious, right?
Yeah.
About what makes those conversions really, take off.
It's interesting you say that because landing pages are kind of like the make it or break it moment.
Yeah.
You grab their attention, you got them to click, and now they're right there on your landing page.
Totally.
Ready to either take action or bounce.
And HubSpot found that 2 out of 3 marketers actually see conversion rates below 10%.
That's a lot.
It's kind of scary, right?
Yeah, it definitely highlights, why it's so important to optimize it and have a clear roadmap. This checklist, it can kind of keep us from just relying on our gut feeling.
Okay.
We can use it to make sure that every single piece of your landing page, is working towards your business goals.
I love that. So, okay, to break this down a little bit, the checklist talks about 4 key elements that every good landing page needs. Attention-grabbing copy, crisp graphics, social proof, and a clear call to action. Now, each of these is super important, but I'm curious, which one do you think is the one people kind of forget about the most?
That's a great question. I mean, they all definitely work together.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick one that I see overlooked a lot, it had to be social proof.
Okay.
People will spend, hours on their copywriting, get the visuals perfect, but they forget to highlight those testimonials, reviews, client logos, and it's a missed opportunity because that social proof builds trust and credibility, and that's huge for getting people to convert.
That makes total sense. I know when, I'm looking at something, I'm way more likely to buy it if I see other people have had a good experience. It's kind of like seeing is believing.
For sure.
To make this deep dive a little bit easier to follow, the checklist is split into 7 categories.
Okay.
SEO, content and messaging, design and layout, technical considerations, landing page audit, mobile and device compatibility, and analyzing and improving performance. So let's start with that first one, SEO.
All right. SEO, or search engine optimization. That's all about getting your page seen by the right people.
Right.
And the checklist covers on-page SEO, off-page SEO, and technical SEO. It's like a whole comprehensive view of how to make your page more visible.
So let's unpack that a bit. The checklist, really stresses the importance of these on-page elements. Keywords, title tags, meta descriptions.
Yeah.
These basically tell search engines what your page is all about, right? And tools like SEMrush can really help with this.
Absolutely. And on-page SEO is, it's super important.
Yeah.
But we can't forget off-page SEO either. Things like backlinks.
Oh, right.
Those links from other websites to your landing page. Those are like votes of confidence from Google's perspective.
Okay.
And the checklist points out this pretty fascinating statistic. It says why and what posts.
Why and what posts?
Yeah, they get almost 26% more backlinks than how-to posts and videos.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Right.
Why do you think that is?
It's a good question. I think it shows that people are looking for more than just quick fixes. They want that deep understanding, the bigger picture.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder to think beyond just giving instructions and create content that really sparks curiosity and delivers true value.
I love that, yeah. Giving people the why behind the what. Now let's move on to technical SEO. I know that can sound kind of intimidating, but the checklist really stresses how important page speed is, not just for the user experience, but also for conversions. Did you know that Google found that over half of users will actually abandon a page that takes more than 3 seconds to load.
3 seconds?
Yeah.
It's crazy how impatient we've all become, right?
Yeah, it's wild. But it makes sense. We're just constantly bombarded with information. We want things to be fast and easy.
Absolutely.
And speaking of fast and easy, we can't forget about mobile optimization.
Oh, right.
I mean, more and more people are on their phones, tablets, all that.
Yeah.
Our landing pages need to be responsive and easy to use on any device.
100%. We've all been there, trying to use a website on our phone, and it's just clunky and doesn't work right.
Yeah.
It's a surefire way to make people leave.
Yeah.
The checklist is spot on with emphasizing that mobile-first design.
So we've covered, the SEO basics, which is a good place to start, right?
Yeah.
But I think what really makes a landing page work is the content and the messaging. What do you think?
Content is king, as they say. And the checklist really digs into the importance of targeted messaging. Like really addressing those pain points that resonate with your ideal customers.
And speaking of ideal customers, the checklist suggests creating what they call buyer personas.
Okay.
And I love this idea because it's like you're painting a picture of your perfect customer, understanding what they're motivated by, what they like, their pain points. And this helps you tailor your message so it speaks directly to their needs.
Yeah, it's about connecting on a deeper level.
Yeah.
Showing them you get their challenges and that you have the solution.
Right.
And once you have their attention, you got to hit them with a killer headline.
Yes.
You only have a few seconds to make an impression.
Yeah, true.
So the checklist recommends keeping those headlines short, benefit-driven, and jargon-free.
Straight to the point.
Exactly.
I've seen so many landing pages where the headline is vague or trying to be too clever. It just leaves me confused.
Yeah.
And at that point, I'm out of there. So yeah, clarity and really getting the message across quickly is key.
Yeah.
So we got the headline, they're intrigued, now they're reading the content. What are your thoughts on content clarity?
You hit the nail on the head. Nobody wants to trudge through a wall of text or technical jargon.
Oh, for sure.
It's about making the information digestible. So the checklist emphasizes using concise language, breaking up the content with subheadings, and adding visuals like images and videos. Makes it easier to scan.
Yeah. Making it digestible. I love how you put that. We want to make them want to keep reading and exploring. Now, the checklist also mentions the importance of aligning your ad copy with your landing page messaging. Why do you think that's so important?
It's all about setting expectations and then delivering on them.
Yeah.
You click an ad that promises a free trial and then land on a page that doesn't even mention it. That's a recipe for a bad experience and lost trust.
For sure.
Consistency is so important. The checklist even mentions this tool called Fiber AI that can help with personalizing landing pages, even at scale.
So AI is getting in on the landing page game. That's interesting.
It really is. And while we won't go too deep on specific tools now, it's definitely worth noting that AI can really make a difference, especially when it comes to personalization.
Awesome. So we've covered SEO and content, two really important ingredients for a high-converting landing page. Up next, we're going to dive into design and layout and how to make it visually appealing and user-friendly. So stay tuned.
Sounds good.
All right, welcome back. We're still deep in this landing page optimization thing. We've covered, SEO and content so far.
Right.
Now let's get into design and layout, which is super important.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it really shapes the whole user experience. We want it to look good and be easy to use.
Yeah, for sure.
So the checklist, it really emphasizes having a consistent style,
Okay.
throughout the whole landing page. It builds trust and strengthens that brand identity.
I get that, like when you walk into a store and everything's carefully put together, it feels right. It makes sense.
Exactly. And we've all seen those websites where the design's all over the place, right?
Yeah.
Makes you wonder if they're even legit.
Yeah, totally. So, okay, how do we make sure our landing page is easy to navigate? What are the key things?
Keep it simple. The checklist reminds us that most users really care about easy navigation. So avoid clutter, use clear labels, and make those calls to action, action-oriented. Think about it. If someone lands on your page and they can't figure out what to do or where to click, they're going to get frustrated and leave.
Speaking of frustration, those really long forms, those are a huge conversion killer.
Oh, tell me about it.
The checklist even mentions, HubSpot research found that forms with just 3 fields got twice as many conversions as forms with 10 or more.
Yeah, it's incredible how much just a long form can turn people away.
Yeah, it's all about removing those barriers, making it easy. People are busy. They don't want to spend their time filling out a novel.
Exactly. So ask for the essentials only, use autofill if you can, and consider a thank you page, to offer some extra value.
Nice. Okay, so we've talked about the design and layout. Now let's shift gears a bit to the technical stuff, which sometimes gets overlooked, I think.
Yeah, true.
But it's really important for building that trust and making sure we're, legally compliant.
Absolutely. And the checklist, it stresses the need for things like privacy policies and terms and conditions. Those links need to be there, It just shows transparency and builds confidence.
It's like saying, hey, we're upfront about this stuff. You can trust us.
Right.
Plus, all those data protection laws, those can be kind of a minefield.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The checklist mentions like GDPR, CCPA, those FTC ad regulations, they can be tricky, but they're important. Non-compliance, that can lead to some serious penalties.
Yeah, no one wants to deal with that. The checklist also talks about accessibility, which is something I think is really important, making sure the landing page works for all users, including those with disabilities.
Accessibility is huge. It's about being inclusive, making the online experience better for everyone.
Yeah, definitely. And I imagine that things like SSL certificates and trust seals can go a long way in making people feel like the site is safe and legit. Do you find that to be true?
Yeah, for sure. Those little badges can make a big difference. Shows you're serious about security, about protecting people's data.
And another important thing is having clear opt-in and opt-out options, right? That's got to be super clear and easy to find.
Yeah, that's essential, especially for those data privacy regulations like GDPR and CCPA. They're really strict about getting explicit consent before collecting any personal data.
It's all about giving people that control over their data and making sure they feel good about using your website.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've covered a lot: SEO, content, design, all the technical stuff. But how do we know if it's all actually working? Like, how do we know if all our effort is paying off?
That's where the landing page audit comes in. We can use the checklist to guide us as we move from setting things up to actually analyzing the results.
Okay, so it's not enough to just build a beautiful landing page and hope for the best.
Nope, we got to measure how effective it is.
Right.
So we track our conversion rate. That's the percentage of visitors who do what we want them to do on the page.
Okay, so that's like the ultimate measure of success, right?
It's a big one, for sure.
But what if it's not as high as we want it to be? How do we figure out what's going wrong?
That's where tracking those other metrics is so important. The checklist points out a whole bunch, like bounce rate, return visitors versus new visitors, cost per conversion, page views, form abandonment, even sessions by source.
Wow, that's a lot. Kind of overwhelming.
It can be, but each metric tells a story. Like, a high bounce rate could mean our content's not engaging enough, or the page isn't aligned with what people are expecting.
Like detective work, right? Trying to piece together the clues.
Exactly.
Now, I've heard a lot about A/B testing. How does that play into the audit?
Oh, A/B testing is awesome. Basically, you compare two versions of a landing page to see which one performs better.
Okay.
You test headlines, calls to action, images, forms, even the layout. It's all about seeing what resonates with your audience.
So instead of guessing, we let the data guide us.
Exactly.
I like that. The checklist even says A/B testing can increase your leads by 30–40%.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful.
That's amazing. Okay, let's shift gears again and talk about something that's super important these days: mobile and device compatibility.
Yeah, we can't forget mobile users.
More than half of all web traffic comes from mobile now, so we gotta be ready for that mobile-first world.
You got it.
Yeah.
And studies show that a lot of users are less likely to engage with brands that have a bad mobile experience.
Yeah, that makes sense. So how do we make sure our landing page is a good experience on all devices?
Responsive design. That's key.
Okay.
The landing page needs to adjust to different screen sizes automatically. Phones, desktops, tablets, everything. We want it to be seamless and enjoyable no matter what device someone's using.
It's like magic watching it transform to fit any screen.
Right.
What about for e-commerce businesses? Anything specific they should keep in mind?
The checklist highlights the importance of device-agnostic shopping. It's about creating that smooth experience across devices.
Okay.
Like a customer browsing products on their phone on their commute, adds stuff to their cart, and then seamlessly picks up where they left off when they're home on their laptop.
That's super convenient. No more starting over just because you switched devices.
Exactly. It's all about being seamless. So the checklist recommends a few things. Optimize those checkout flows for all screen sizes, enable features like saved carts, and make sure the coding's lightweight for fast loading.
So it's really about creating that customer-centric experience, making it easy for people to shop however they want.
Precisely. And as we're nearing the end of our deep dive here, It's important to remember this. Landing page optimization isn't a one-time thing. It's an ongoing process. We've talked about a ton of elements today: SEO, content design, all that technical stuff. But how do we put all of this into practice and make sure those landing pages are always performing their best? That's what we'll explore next.
We've really gone deep on landing page optimization in this deep dive.
Yeah,
From SEO and content, to design and all the technical stuff.
Right.
We've used this awesome checklist you had to explore it all, but I'm curious, what does all of this mean for you? Like, how can you actually use this stuff to make your landing pages, really convert?
What I find interesting is the checklist, it's packed with these best practices.
Right.
But it really comes down to relevance. Not every single thing is going to be equally important for every business.
Yeah.
You really have to tailor your strategy to your goals, your audience, and your industry,
So it's kind of like having this toolbox full of amazing gadgets, but you got to know which one to use, right?
Right.
You wouldn't use a hammer to tighten a screw.
Yep. Exactly. It can be tempting to try and do everything all at once, but that can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
And it might actually slow you down. Instead, focus on the elements that are going to make the biggest difference for your specific objectives.
So it's about prioritizing and being strategic, not just, blindly following the checklist.
Right.
Now, we've talked about how landing page optimization is an ongoing process. It's not like a one-time fix, it's a continuous thing.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
It's like tending a garden,
Okay.
You have to nurture your landing pages by analyzing that data, doing those A/B tests.
Yeah.
And making adjustments based on what you learn.
Yeah.
The online world is always changing.
Right.
So your approach needs to change too.
Embrace that power of iteration. Don't be afraid to experiment. And, if you're feeling overwhelmed, there are tools out there to help. Remember we talked about those AI-powered solutions, Fiber AI?
Oh, yeah.
Those can be really helpful for, streamlining everything and making those data-driven decisions.
Yeah, definitely. You don't have to do this alone. There are tons of resources and tools out there to help.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this. What is the one element that you're going to focus on first to make your landing pages stand out? Is it crafting that amazing headline that grabs people's attention, simplifying your forms, or maybe diving into that A/B testing to see what really works?
Whatever it is, take action. Experiment and never stop learning. The world of landing pages is always evolving.
Yeah, that's true.
There's always something new to discover.
Well, we're so glad you joined us for this deep dive. We hope you found it valuable. Keep an eye out for more deep dives coming soon. We'll be exploring all sorts of cool topics to help you stay ahead of the game. Until then, happy optimizing.
See ya.
Thanks for tuning in. That's it for this episode of Mind Your Conversions, brought to you by Fiber. I hope you are leaving with fresh ideas and strategies to take your marketing and your conversions to the next level. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave us a review. Thanks for listening. Until then, take care, and we'll see you next time.